Where does Charlie Kirk stand in history? Welcome aboard. So, Jeremy, it's been a couple weeks since Charlie Kirk was unalived. Let's move forward. Charlie Kirk, is his name going to ring through history like John Brown did, the abolitionist back in the Civil War? Is his name something that's going to stand the test of time? Because I have my opinion, but what do you think?
Um, I think it should stand the test of time, just like Martin Luther King Jr. did, because there are amazing similarities between the two, to be honest. But do I think it's going to? As somebody who every year teaches a lesson on 9/11, I'm not sure how much of anything is going to stand the test of time anymore in this whole short format TikTok 10 minutes. Heck, even our videos, aren't long enough to be forever. So I think it will, in that sense, that it'll always be there, it'll always be that. But and I'm going to beat this up, and my mom's gonna say something about it. But my mom used to say, it's not it's not a holiday once they make a sale about it. And we have Martin Luther King Jr. sales and trips and holidays, and we have President's Day and Memorial Day and Labor Day and all these days that are just a sale now. Nobody really understands it. And so,
I gotta jump in. I hate to say this. I think your mom has a point. I really want to say no. I gotta say, I think she does have a point. I
yeah,
mean, you ask people what Memorial Day is about.
it's about getting car deals.
They have no clue, and that makes me sad. I'm sorry to say. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to be insulting to your mom
Oh, no, she's
in
absolutely
any way.
right. I mean, this is
I think
her.
she's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And
And that's the thing. And so, do I want this to live forever? Yes, I do. I think it's important that it does. Not because I'm conservative and he was, not for that reason at all, but because this marks a point in time where the vast majority of people stood up and said, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, that was wrong.
here's the interesting thing. They're doing a few things to honor Charlie Kirk. And I got to be honest, I agree with everything I've heard so far. Number one, he's posthumously being given the Medal of Honor.
Mhm.
Totally agree with that. There is talk. There's been a bill introduced to mint 400,000 coins, silver dollars, with Charlie Kirk's face on it. I totally support that. With one caveat, I think it needs to be more than 400,000. I think they need to do a couple million of those coins. There are some people talking about making his birthday a national holiday. That is kind of where I don't think we're at that point. Maybe, I don't know. I know we have MLK Day. I have a lot of respect for Martin Luther King Jr. I honestly think that maybe it's time to put Martin Luther King Jr. on a bill.
Okay.
I really think that Charlie Kirk is just below the Martin Luther King level. I think he should be there. Now, whether or not in this TikTok age it will happen that way in the future in several decades, I don't know.
Yeah. And to be fair, I think, as we've said, the young, I don't want to just say conservative. It's not like, they're the young Republicans or the young Reagans or anything like that. These are people who value family values, value. I mean, they really do. They value caring for each other, taking care of each other, understanding that you may have a different opinion than me, and that's okay. And we can have a discussion about it, and we can not like each other, and we can walk away just fine. And I think that's the trend that Charlie wanted to have, and I think that's the trend that it's having. I know this kind of a little bit because in my school they're trying to start up one, which is pretty interesting for where we're at.
Well, you were telling me something I didn't know. I was shocked and
Mhm.
really happy about it. You were telling me about how many Turning Point USA chap are being applied for,
Requests
requests.
for.
Tell me about.
Well, the number I had heard a week ago was that Charlie was hoping to get 25,000 requests. That would double their number in a year. There was about roughly 25,000 chapters, and he was hoping to get 25,000 interests, not even full chapters, just 25,000 interests in becoming a chapter by a year from now. And the interesting thing is, somebody had said that there were now 65,000 requests to become a chapter. Not interests, requests.
I'm looking it up right now on ChatGPT. ChatGPT, as we all know, is not always perfect, but it's saying Since Charlie Kirk's death, reports vary slightly, but Turning Point USA has said they've received around 54,000 to 62,000 new requests slash inquiries from high school and college students to either start a chapter or get involved with an existing one.
Well, that jives. It was at the memorial. They were reporting the 65,000. So yeah, probably.
It could be 65,000 now. Who knows? I think that would be a great thing. I think every school
Yeah.
should have a Turning Point USA chapter.
Well, and it doesn't have to be, that's the one thing. I'm not going to try and make it like you have to have a Turning Point USA.
No, you
Why
didn't
can't
have
you
to.
have any why would any school? I mean, let's ask the real question here. Why would any educational institution who favors debate and knowledge and understanding tell one organization that they can't have a club, and yet the opposite organization could have a club?
But
Exactly.
it's not debatable. Reaching down, hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, and becoming a listener, a subscriber to Teachers and Train Stations. And you know who really, really supports Teachers and Train Stations?
Conservative Peaches.
At Conservative Peaches, we take pride in everything we do, from our peaches to all the equipment used to get our peaches to you. Our escalators, elevators, and sound system never shut off unexpectedly. We don't believe in raising taxes, but we do believe in raising the flag. If we disagree with your politics, we're glad to have a friendly talk about it. And we won't ship bricks to your glass buildings. Our FBI, the Farmers Bureau of Irrigation, has never sent 300 undercover officers anywhere, and the director has never lied to Congress under oath, unlike some other FBI directors. At Conservative Peaches, we treat our employees well. When we take our staff to breakfast, Pastor Rick takes care of the bill, and Rabbi Shmuley always leaves a big tip behind. We also believe in giving back to the community and to others who believe in our values. That's why at Conservative Peaches we are proud to sponsor Teachers and Train Stations. From their insight to their humor, we just can't get enough of Jeremy and Seth. So on behalf of the entire staff here at Conservative Peaches, we invite you to reach on down and hit the like and subscribe button for Teachers and Train Stations. Because sometimes doing the right thing is easy to do. Conservative Peaches is an honest-to-goodness made-up company, and we're a completely made-up sponsor. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't go out and find yourself a beautiful conservative peach. And now back to our hosts, Jeremy and Seth at Teachers and Train Stations. We're glad to have you aboard.
You know who I think would make a great leader of a Turning Point USA chapter?
Who's that?
Pastor Rick.
Pastor Rick would.
I think he'd be fantastic.
I think Rabbi Shmuley could do a really good job also, though.
He does a good service. You've been to his services.
You know what? I have.
I've been to Pastor Rick's services.
I have.
You
have.
I have, and they're just fantastic. But at the end of the day, my hope for Charlie Kirk is he becomes an American icon. Along the lines of Martin Luther King, we have those leaders. Every once in a while, they come along and they are just amazing. People that get venerated, like Ronald Reagan or even FDR, who American history looks at as some of the best that we have to offer.
I think in many circles, I think it'll always be memorialized that way. I just hope it becomes more than a footnote in a textbook.
I'm going to be honest. I've really come to look at Charlie Kirk and look at him as a role model. I really have looked at him as like, I could be a better person, even though I'm not Christian. Take out the religious part. I could be a better person like he was. And, I just loved how he was able to debate so passionately and so well.
Well, and I mean, on the religious side, I don't mind the religious side. It probably aligns more with my views than a lot of people's views.
Mm-hmm.
But at that same token, most of religion is just trying to be a good person. I mean, like I always say, we've always talked about history and that, and religion is history. I mean, regardless of how you want to look at it, that's a history book. And it's been told by the victors, and it's been told by translation.
History has a lot of religion in it, and let's be honest, our entire basis of law is based upon Judeo-Christian values. We don't allow unaliving. We don't allow stealing. I mean, that's straight out of the Torah.
Well, and so I guess what I'm getting at is that at the end of the day, Charlie and I think a lot of people just believe, hey, you know what? Treat people with goodness, treat people with kindness, try and be a decent person to each other. And it's okay if we disagree. And I think we need to educate kids to that. Right now, if I ask a differing an opinion, I have to be very careful in my class that I don't give my opinion first, that I don't share something first, because then magically everybody feels they have to share that same thing. It's kind of I think they called it the TikTok effect or something. It's when somebody sees something, it goes viral, basically. It's because everybody saw it. That's their original idea. It's like the bucket challenge type thing. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and I welcome a differing opinion. I don't want to shout down. I don't want to belittle anybody's opinion. If you think, that there are Martians, hiding out behind Jupiter waiting for us to leave Mars so they can go back to their home. Okay. All right. Let's talk about it,
Actually, it's the Grand Spaghetti Monster.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Does the Grand Spaghetti Monster prefer meat sauce or is it pure vegetarian? I'd like to be ready for them.
That is a great question.
And with that, we'll see you at the next stop. Does the Grand Spaghetti Monster prefer meat sauce or is it pure vegetarian? I'd like to be ready for them.